some UK flags in the chat box just because we know this is where the homegrown talent is now going to be giving out all the education today. So through Des, through myself, through years of experience, it's great to see where we can come, because at the end of the day, we all represent something. You know, we all represent something. And so this call, I wanted to profess it in a way where it can be direct to you. You know, I do these calls quite often, especially for teams outside of my group. I love to do an interactive session, so it actually benefits the team. What I normally would do a session where it will be a training based upon what I think the market needs and why I feel like might help the market. But naturally, when it's so many people, I feel like that's probably the wrong step to take. You know, and I remember that training that Des was referring to, the taprooting training. Now remember that benefited Des highly, it seemed like, and it seemed like it helped him rank up, which means that he indirectly owes me some money from that training. But the good thing is, of course, is that affected him because that's what he needed. But would you agree? There might be someone in that room then, they might have said, you know what, I'm already taprooting. I'm already effective at that. I need trading on retention. I need training on trading. I need training on momentum. You know, I'm already good at taprooting. I can find people through people, but I'm not good at cold recruiting. And so this is why whenever I do these sessions, I try to make the most of the time we have accessible, and hopefully I don't bore the life out of even 5% of you guys, because it's interactive. So the question, what we're going to do, we're going to use this great thing that we have here called a chat box, and we're going to make everything a lot more interactive. So it's going to be direct to you, and I'm going to be as directive as I can. So if Des gives me permission to, I'm going to be as harsh as I can as well, because at the end of the day, this is not a stage talk. As you guys can see, I'm not in no suit. I haven't got a tie on. I'm just in my AM hoodie, and I'm going to tell you guys how it is, because I've been in the industry now coming up to, well, it's going to be 7 years this year. You know, that's a long time to be out of a job. It's a long time to only pursue entrepreneurship. It's a long time to try and milk it as much as you can. And that's why I've found so many things through trial and error. You know, no trainer, there's not one trainer in the whole industry that can sit here and tell you this is right and this is wrong. They can only tell you what they would do in your situation and what they perceive has been right for them. Does that make sense? Because there's no right and wrong to this whole game, right? If I've done something and you do something the same exact way, if we speak to two different people about it, we might get two different results, right? So if I tell you, hey, this is how you close, right? And it's the same script. Why is it you can close him and I can't close him? It's basically because you can't say the right things to the wrong people, and you can't say the wrong things to the right people. So sometimes you can be in that situation where everything that you're doing is a copy and paste, right? This is not a trade, by the way. It's a copy and paste of ability of networking, but it's not as simple as going into the trade. Because see, the trade, the markets, they move the same way for everyone. You know, if the pound drops, it drops for you and it drops for me, right? It's not like it rises for you and it goes down for me based on a broker, based on a spread, based on, you know, my leverage, my margins. No, it does what it does for the world, right? But you see, with network marketing, location matters, industry matters, training matters, your body language matters, your dress code matters, your smell matters, your formality matters, right? These are all very important things. This is why I dress up how I dress when I go to events, because if they call up a Chairman 50 and I come up in a tracksuit, naturally a prospect will think, okay, it doesn't correlate the right way. 50 grand a month doesn't look like 50 grand a month, right? So these are the kind of things that we're going to go through. So we're going to use the chat box, right? So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through your questions on a first come, first serve basis. And you can ask me anything, of course, business related. And that way, what we'll do is we'll target those questions and we'll go in deep with those questions. So we'll go in detail. It won't just be a one-word answer. Don't worry. It'll be literally detailed in what and if I've gone through it, I'm basically going to explain it to you as if I've gone through it. Now, if you're a Chairman 100 on this call, which I assume that you're not, hopefully this can guide you to at least go Chairman 50. You know, and our goal in this company is wherever you want it to be, you know, because no target is impossible. And we've seen that just the other day with Bryce going Chairman 500. you know, that's crazy for someone with no prior experience to start the industry at 20 years old. He joined IM before me. You know, he joined the company before me. He was a P5K, I think, for about a year and a half. So what was the shift? Like, what was the light bulb, right? And so these are the kind of things that we need advice on. So Jason asked, how do we look? How do we look as good as you? Now, bro, look, I can give you all the ingredients, but I'm telling you, you'll probably look much better just doing you, bro. Trust me. You probably, I would definitely say the answer to that question is, if you do what you do, no one can do it as good as you, man. So trust me, Jay, you look as good as you, man. I saw your P5 promo. You're looking clean, brother. Looking clean, man. I know your story. Don't think I don't know your story. I know your upline quit. I know your upline quit in a high rank. I know you wasn't at high rank. I know your upline was close to you and you stayed. So, you know, that looks good on you, brother. So keep it up and keep on doing what you're doing. Okay. Kishan said, most effective method of taproot. Now, taproot is a term used, very underrated. It's a very underrated term in network marketing. People downplay taproot. Now, taproot is basically where you're finding people through people. Now, there's many ways to taproot. You can go through warm, cold, or gold. I'm going to go through all of those. Okay, so warm is basically where I feel like everyone that joins the business has a warm market. And they, for instance, are the most relatable with that person. So if I get Des involved in the business, naturally what I want to do is I want to go through Des's warmest people. Why? Because they trust and respect him. Okay, for when it's a business perspective, you're trying to build a team, you're trying to get people to see the business as soon as possible. Who can see the business with Des? It's not going to be the people that just message him Merry Christmas or Happy Eid or Happy New Year or Happy Birthday. It's going to be the people that live with him, people that work with him, people that go gym with him, people that play FIFA with him. Those are the people that are going to be quickest to see the information. And so that's where I run. You know, I want to see Des. I want to see what people can see the business as soon as possible. So even when I get Des to write out a list, I would definitely write the list of the 10 to 20 most closest people in his life. And I would go and I would actually try and utilize that information to then go and prospect and speak to those people. Okay, that's the warm market, right? That's when you're taprooting through warm market. You thought warm market was just you prospecting. Now, taprooting is also warm, cold, and gold. So the second one is cold market. Now, I would definitely feel like Des, when he joins the business, the key word to this is network marketing. What does marketing mean? It means that you market yourself. Does that make sense? Now, what do we have in this world today that's one of the biggest ways to market? Social media. Social media marketing today pays more money than anything else. Cristiano Ronaldo, we all know the footballer Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you guys know Cristiano Ronaldo makes 31 million every single year from Juventus? That's his Italy club right now. That's his club. Do you guys know how much he makes from Instagram? 49 million. He makes more from Instagram than he does for what he's even popular on Instagram for, which is playing football. He gets paid more on social marketing than he does playing football, which is why he's the #1 footballer in the world. Imagine that. Because why? More than a footballer today, he's a brand, right? Ronaldo starts selling his underwear today. His underwear has more sales than some football team have merchandise sales. His underwear alone. And I'm not talking about small clubs. I read today that Barcelona's shirt sales are less than Cristiano Ronaldo's underwear, which is kind of a disrespect in a sense because they're rival clubs. But in a way, you know, it's really, really funny that social marketing is that big. So I would say, hey, Des, let's move through social marketing. Can you announce yourself into this business? Why? How do you announce yourself? You don't say, hey, guys, just joined IM. Happy days. Contact me. No one's going to care about that. I want him to now market what the company's already marketing for him, i.e., whether it be Gold Cup results, whether that be a Chairman 500 blowing up, whether that be a Chairman 10, whether that be a new success story, whether that be trading results, whether that be MetaTrader, of course, not disclosing the income, but you might disclose the pips because it's regulated that way. And that way is very important that Des I'm taprooting him to get to his now social media, because I can never tap into Dez's social media without Dez. But Dez can tap into his social media by me guiding Dez. And it's much more powerful than Dez just going out and recruiting people. But see, back in the days, guys, you know what we would be conversating about right now? Hey, Dez, go to a shopping center, have a clipboard, and anyone that walks by, bro, you stop them. And you say, hey, listen, do you see an opportunity about how you can make extra income? Do you see an opportunity how you can actually, and then some of you laughing because you've been in the industry and you were trained on that years ago. See, the game has changed, guys. We ain't got to do that stuff no more. That makes sense? We are on social media. Why you got to go door to door? You don't. That's the hardest job. Sales is the hardest job. So why are you selling? No, if you want people to come to you, they're already half sold. If they come to you, they're looking, so they're half sold, right? So to do that, you need to create, right? Create. So if you're using social media, create a brand, all right? So I would definitely do that with Dez if he's willing. I would definitely do cold taprooting through him to get into his context. Now gold market. So we had warm, right? Finding people who are closest to Dez. Then we got cold, right? Using social media through Dez or cold market people. And then we got gold. Now, how many people say no to you comparison to how many people say yes when you want to get them involved in a business? For me, and this is me, this is Chairman 50. I have about 80% no ratio. No. So out of 10 presentations, I'm going to close at least 2. You can be Jordan Belfort and you're not getting more than those numbers in network marketing. 2, or if you're a genius closer, maybe 3, but 80% to 70% are saying no. Why? Because naturally, people are window shoppers. This is how it is. You go to any big store around the world, how many are buying and how many are looking? Go to Gucci one day, go to Nike one day, go to Adidas. How many are buying and how many are just gonna go, scroll, and come out? Why? Because it's free. There's no risk. There's no decision to make. Does that make sense? There's nothing to think about. But when you got to sign a contract, there's 100 different emotions that come in. Right? Yes, no, nervous, scared, excited, skeptical. All of these emotions just rush through. And that is the industry of network marketing. Right? Even with that, around 15,000 people join network marketing every day. You know, it's crazy. Every day. Right? And that number is rising and rising every single day. Okay? So as you guys saw, gold market is, if the ratios are no's, so more are no's, that means that you think you're wasting your time. See, time and wasted time are 2 different things. The wasted is what you do with that time. See, when someone says no to me, I don't say, okay, have a nice day, but we'll catch up one day. Or I don't feel burnt and feel like, oh, this guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Or, you know, it's naturally, some people are so passionate. You just want to hurt that person because they said no. You're like, are you done? Like, why would you say no? Just put your head there so I can kick it. So, so you can say yes. You know, you get so frustrated and you're like, okay, just rewind time now. Let me just patience myself and just be like, okay, this guy said no. Let me leave him to it. Everything's not for everyone. But here's the thing, guys. When someone says no, that's their time to say no. And so when someone says no, how you react to that can make you an income or can make you no income. So here's what I do. Here's the gold market. Des says no. I said, Des, okay, no problem. You said no. Hey, listen, do you think there's someone out there around you, whether it be on social media or in your warm market, that might see an opportunity here for themselves more than you? You know, your excuse was no time or no money. Do you think there's people around you right now that have time or have money more than you? Oh, and now it's like they feel guilty for saying no. So they might just give you 1, 2, 5 referrals and boom. Now you've gone through that person to find someone you never even had in your radar. You didn't have them. You didn't know them. You could never have known them. Right? I've done that through this business. right? I did not know Katrina directly. I knew of her, but I didn't know her directly to get her to join. There was another woman. She came into the company. She was iffy about joining. But when we got Kat through her, that made her want to stay. But I focused on Kat. I didn't focus on her. And so that's gold market, right? Digging through the dirt to find the gold, right? Gold's not just going to be hanging around there, right? You're not just going to be in a mining field, just like, yep, found some gold here. Yep, found some diamonds here. No. There's a reason why in Africa it's called blood diamonds. You know, people bleed for that kind of stuff, man. So that's why to go through the dirt to find the gold, you're going to have to come out of your comfort. You're going to have to do things that are not out of your ordinary. You're going to have to use that wasted time to make it productive time. So whenever you get a no, utilize that no. Warm if it's yes, cold if it's yes, gold if it's no. See, I'm telling you, you can make money every time you present if you do this stuff. Every time you present, you share the opportunity, you can make money. It's very important. Okay, so hope that answers the question on taproot. And there's one rule with taproot. Okay, this is a common law. This is taught by Holton Buggs, one of the industry legends. He was actually, you can say he's kind of like the mentor of David in his prior company. And he's made, I've even heard that he's made 9 figures from network marketing. So yeah, he is a legend. So he says, once you find someone in your group, that don't mean you got a team. That means you got a person, right? So if you got someone in your group right now, you got one person, you got 2 people, they're on your level 1, level 2, level 3, you ain't got. See, when you go down 4 levels, that's when you got a team. And then from 4 levels, if you go through and now go 8 levels, that's where you find superstars. Does it make sense? So the more levels down you go, the more production you will grow. Okay? The moment you think that I've signed up someone and I'm done, that's where you kind of shoot yourself in the foot. You need to go through and then through and then through and then through. And then it benefits everyone in between. So now you have high fear of loss in your group. Naturally, everyone is benefiting from any kind of production that can happen. And so what I call it is that you have a company under a company. Does that make sense? So Chairman Des right now, he has Nikki in his group, who's a Chairman 10. So he knows now I have a company underneath my company. I have now built something where there's something that's solid, where now I can now put my energy and focus on my other 2 lines or my other 3 lines, however many lines you want to work on. You can focus on those lines more or so, because you now know there's some high level leadership happening in my company right here. So I can now move over. They say, I always say, once you have produced the same rank you are in your group, you have now set a base where you can now move over. Does that make sense? You don't move until then, because until then, you're the protocol. But once you got that happen in your group, you move over. Okay? How long did it take you to go Chairman 50? I Chairman 50, I was Chairman 10 in 6 months, and I was Chairman 50 3 months after. So it happens quick. But I think the reason why it happened quick, because I feel like my promotion was the biggest kind of possibility hoax in their mind that it can be done. And it's just crazy what happened after that. Like we signed up 500 people in the first 6 months. And then we signed up an extra 2,000 3 months after. So how does that happen? How do we could triple what we didn't do in 6 months in half the months, 3 months? It just didn't make sense to me logistically. But what did make sense to me was the numbers. People that come in, they're all thriving for their goals. Every single person's thriving for their goal. Like Junior, for instance, you can see, look, 2 years as a P2, hit P5, then 1 month later was Chairman 10. So what was that shift that happened? And now he's in huge momentum. So it's good. So I hope that answered your question, Kishan. Where did you get the hoodie? So I got it at the convention. These questions are strange, man. You guys are chilled out. You guys must be killing it to be asking me questions about my hoodie, how I look good. You guys are probably putting reps in right now, right? How to create builders in your team. Now, this is a good question. How to create builders Now look, do you think that Dez was created as a builder? No. See, I don't think Dez got any special training because they thought Dez was going to be a builder. No, Dez got the same training that I got. You got the same training that I got. They get the same training that we get. See, builders are not created. They are born within themselves. You know, there's going to be a light bulb, whether it be at an event, whether you see your mom grinding. For me, it was seeing my mom. You know, I was like, if I'm going to struggle in this industry and my mom's going to carry on working and I'm going to bust out of this industry and she carries on struggling, then I'm a big failure because I started this industry to get my mom out of work. So until that happens, I got to keep grinding. I got to build. I got to go in. I got to tap root. I got to do all the fundamentals. So that self-evaluation of goals daily is the route to build day to day. You know, I never say I never say a leader needs to be motivated. I say a leader is normally self-motivated, right? So you never create anyone. Leaders just come upon themselves. That's what I've seen anyway. You know, because I train people the same. And then you got one guy who's got momentum and then one guy who's not. You got one guy who's doing all the right things and you got one guy who's not. You got one female who's in every single event, every single training is coachable. And then you got one female who's not. And that is just down to that person. Look, people are going to come. People are going to go. People are going to win. People are going to lose. People are going to go chairman. People are going to struggle. If you ask why that happens, it's like signing up for the class. Why is there night? Why is there day? Why is the sea blue? Right? Why does the sun come from the east? These are questions where a why would not even be relevant. And so you just adapt and you move. You adapt and you move. You adapt and you move. Okay? Let's go to the other questions.
Let me ask you a question, Zain, while you're scrolling through.
Okay.
Now, I mean, your name holds weight, not just in IM, but in other industries as well. You know, I've got friends in other companies, and you're well known there as well. And one thing that stands out with you is that you're excellent at presenting. Like your presentation skills are probably some of the best that I've seen, you know, around the world. But how did you get to that level? Like, how do you get to be that smooth as a speaker?
Yeah. I was thrown in the deep end, man. Not many people know this. As in my first company, I was super nervous in the beginning, and I believe no one can get better at doing something by training. Everyone gets better by getting thrown in the deep end. And so in my first company, I hit the second position, which was like equivalent to like a P600, P1000, you can say, in terms of income. So I hit that position, and my team wasn't that big. I had a team of maybe like 30, 40 people. And there was a big event. It was like, you know, I think it was like 600 people. We used to have 600 people events every week. And my mentor at the time, who was the top earner, he was making about 10, 15K a month in the UK. He said to me, and the guy that was meant to present was late, and we were just about to start. And I was always early. I was like, you know, I wanted to find out what's going to happen. I had to get my guests there early. I used to have my car packed. And he just said to me, you know, hey, Zain, you're doing it today. You're doing first half. You're the only one here that can do the first half. It's either you or it's me, and I'm doing the second half. So you're going to do the first half. So I said, look, I didn't want to say no to the top earner. So because I was like, we don't have them kind of conversations for me to even debate, you know? So I just said, okay. I even say, okay, I think he just left it like that. So I was ready. Of course, I was dressed like for to do it. I wasn't dressed any other way. And it was actually my promotion that day. And he still just said, look, this is your time, you know? And I remember going up stage and my neck was getting hot. I was itchy. I was like, when I'm about to speak, my words started slurring. And I remember when I finished that presentation, the feeling of starting and the feeling of finishing felt like when you don't really want to go to the gym and you just lazy. And then when you finish a great session, that's exactly how I felt. Like I didn't feel up for it. And then I just smashed it. And then after, when people start coming up to me like, man, great presentation. You know, you done well. You look really good up there. You're a natural. I was like, man, look, I never practiced for this, but I think improvisation-wise, because I threw myself in the deep end and I knew I was going to do it, I done well because it's the same lyric everywhere. If you can present to someone one-on-one, you can present in front of 1,000 people. It's just same stuff. It's only one script to remember, right? Actors remember scripts from different movies. We just got to remember one presentation. So I was really lucky to do that in my first 3 months. And then after that, I was on stage quite frequently. So I can tell everyone right now the best way to get better at presenting and being good with your words and being formal and, you know, knowing what you want to say is by doing it. You know, the more you do it, the better you'll get. You know, I promise you. Like I even noticed, even in the London convention, Bryce, Des, when you actually talking in the little panel that we had, you could tell that those are the kind of conversations that you have with your group. So when you were getting asked those questions, you knew how to answer them because those questions probably came about from leaders in your team and you answered them the same way. Now it's spectacular because what? There's 8,000 people in the room. But it's the same thing. Like I was presenting the same way to my sister in my living room. So it's the same thing. Someone says, how do I find a Bryce Thompson? Well, you can't find what you don't become, right? David found Bryce. He is a Bryce in his perspective. He is the Chairman 500. Find the Chairman 500, right? You want to attract a certain caliber of people. You have to become that caliber. You know, that I read that in a book called Compound Effect. He spoke about it in terms of spouses, right? He said, as guys, naturally they want a woman who looks good, who cooks, who cleans, who does this, who does that. And they have like a list in their mind of what they want. Doesn't give them headache, you know, takes care of their mom. And then you don't actually look at your own list. You just look at their list of what you want. What about the opposite of what they want from you? You don't fix the attribute. You don't fix the attributes for yourself to prepare yourself that if you do find this girl, are you ready for that? Does that make sense? Are you ready for her to get you ticked off so you can tick her off? Does that make sense? And no one really thinks like that. Most people, they got their list. Yeah, I tick. Yep, you tick. I want that. Yep, tick. I want that. Tick. And then when you don't think about a girl like that to be that perfect in your eyes, what do you think she's looking for, man? Then you look at your own list. You're like, okay, I need to fix up. So that's when you want to attract what you become. So it's the same principle, man. I feel like the same works, same way in business. So did you start a team and build together? If so, how many did you start with? Obviously, I had network marketing experience. And so building a team was always kind of second nature. But I didn't start with my old team. I just basically started by, because I felt like trading brings a whole new audience. It brings a whole new audience. Naturally, when people want us to get started in the business, it's a thing where they're very, very attracted to the fact that they can make income without building the business. Okay, so if they can make income without building the business, that then takes away all the kind of no's that I used to get in my prior business in network marketing, because naturally in network marketing, the only way to succeed is to build. No matter how much someone tells you you can make residual income from this and that, you can't really. The real way to do it is to build. But in trading, in Forex, because it's so separate from IM, because you get your own broker, you get your own MT4 account, you just have you have your own money. IM don't really take a cut out of your income. Your upline don't take a cut out of your Forex income. It's literally all independent, self kind of explanatory. It's very attractive to the modern eye. And so I just built like that. My first 90 days, I didn't really care how big my group was. I cared about how much people I can sign up. My goal was to sign up 100 people myself in 90 days. So I had to do more than one a day in 90 days. So I was speaking to, I probably spoke to more than 1,000 people in those 90 days in terms of personal group meetings, one-on-ones, three-on-ones, wherever it was, social media calls, launch calls, lives, whatever it might be. Okay. Are you as successful as trading as you are at building? What do you focus on more? I wouldn't say I'm as successful as I am in networking, because in trading, it's very difficult to consistently make 50 grand a month. I've been Chairman 50 since February 2018. So it's like more than 2 years now, as a Chairman 50. So I wouldn't say I've been that consistent. And in network marketing, you have to understand, in network marketing, you don't lose money. You only make money in network marketing. Like, you can never lose. Like, I've never not had a Friday check, right? In trading, you can have one great month, 2 great months, 3 great months, and then you have one bad month. And then obviously that one bad month sets you back a little bit, whether it be a lot or not, it still sets you back. In network marketing, it doesn't set you back. And so that's the difference in terms of profit income. It's always been higher in network marketing. With trading, it's always been, now I'm much more independent. I think I have it written down. I have made 6 figures from trading in the past 3 years inside IM, but I've been very conservative. I haven't traded very risky. I try to make about 1.5 to 3K per week, depending on my leverage and stuff. Whether I make that, I withdraw it. Whether I make $1,000, I withdraw it. I don't over compound. I stay on a certain balance, and I trade with certain lot sizes, and I don't sway from that. So that's something I really advise as well. If you're just trading, I wouldn't. Everyone's different. You can do what you want, right? You can do what you want. But for me, what I found is that every time I compounded, I got greedy, man. I got very greedy. You know, when I went from 5 to 10, it's like, okay, now I'm at 10K. Let me up these lot sizes, and let me open up more positions. Let me overtrade. Let me revenge trade because I got more margin, and that is where I screwed up sometimes. So yeah, lesson learned. Trial and error. Any tips for closing, especially people who have gone as far as opening the link that then hesitate at payments? Now, no, closing is a very important skill. You don't close business, you don't grow business. Okay, so it's a very important skill, and people shy away from closing. Okay, and they shy away from even speaking about it. And so closing for me has always been a very important subject that I can teach. If I can teach my group, it's just like Wolf on Wall Street. When Jordan Belfort knew that he can't do the script by himself, but if he can teach others to do what he does, he knows his income will tenfold. And so closing for me I feel like is a very genuine aspect. Okay. And so that's why if it's a genuine aspect, take the sales hat off. Does that make sense? Because we're not selling stock here. We're not selling big investments. We're not selling real estate. You don't have to put a sales hat on. So if you go to Mercedes, they have targets to reach. And so they have to try and put the sales hat on for you to buy that car. Now, if you look needy, they will leave you. If you act genuine, most times they will consider what it is you're about to show them. So I always said, look, instead of doing a close, why don't you do something called a pre-close? Okay, a pre-close is basically when you close someone before the presentation. Imagine that. Because why? We got a lot of window shoppers, guys. A lot of people just want to look, right? So if people want to look so much, I got to make sure I make some productivity from that time. So I do something called a pre-close. So let's say Des wants to hear about the business. I'll give Des 3 questions prior to hearing the business, right? Whether it's whether him jumping on the call, whether him coming to an event, whether him jumping on a business opportunity meeting on a Sunday, whether whatever it might be, whatever way he sees the business, I'm gonna ask him these 3 questions. First question: okay, Des, you're about to hear this overview, but what has got you looking into something like this? Because clearly, of course, if you're going to listen to this information, what is the reason that's got you looking? Why would you even consider this? So you can word it how you want, but essentially it's like, what has got you looking? That's the first question. What has got you looking? Des, so let's be interactive, Des.
Cool.
So let's say me and you were speaking before you start this business,
Yep.
and you be as genuine and as truthful as you was, especially before you joined. So I said, Des, what has got you looking into something like this?
I'm making some good money right now.
Okay.
I don't have the time. To spend with my kids.
Okay.
So I need something that can give me my time back.
Perfect. So, and now I know in the back of my mind, Des is not broke, so money is not going to be a problem for him. Second, he's time broke, right? So I can revert my presentation around that, because I can let him know it's part-time, spare time based, copy and paste signals, doesn't require too much of his time. And then the third thing, it leads me to my next question. Okay, Des, so regarding your income, you're making a lot of money. So would you agree that based on this business, what would be the target income that you'll be focusing on to give yourself more time independence?
I need to make about 50K a month.
You need to start making about 50K a month. Okay, perfect, wicked. So again, whatever the answer is, as genuine as you are, as genuine as you'll get. So, okay, perfect. Second question, his answer was, I want to start making about 50K a month. I'll then say to Des, no problem, Des, how long would you want to make that 50K in? How long would you want it to take you?
I know it's not going to come overnight, so I'm willing to put the work in. If it takes 4 or 5 years, I think that's a good return to make that kind of money.
Perfect. So if 5 years is the answer for 50K a month, you know what I would do now? So after I've got the answer to that third question, I would say this. So that third question that I just put, you can even add that to your second question, right? So for example, if you said 50K a month, I can say, how long do you think that will take? Then my major question, my third question will come after, which will be, okay, Des, if I was to show you a way where there's people in our group that have made 50K a month, I can introduce you to someone, you know, they're young, they're making 50K a month today. They've been in the business for around 3 years, young. The guy is 20, 24 years old. His name is Shabazz Ahmed. I can introduce you to him. I can get him on a call. And he's making 50K a month today. He's only been in the business for, I believe, less than 3 years. So if you were to hear that story, would you agree that would be something that you can actually potentially move forward with because that's something that you're looking for? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So that's now I'm putting him in that mind frame where now he's looking to get started straight away. Another question I can even add with that with genuinity is I can say, okay, Des, based on the information you're going to see today, if it could be something that you like. So again, if it's something that you like, and I give you the testimonials of Shabazz and so on and so forth, would that be something you can consider starting straight away? Because obviously you want to make your time independence as soon as possible. You don't want to you don't want to stay time broke, and you want to move forward towards this 50K a month within the next 5 years. Is that something you would like to start straight away?
You can genuinely show me someone who's making that amount of money at under 30 years old. I'm all in.
Perfect. Now remember, you don't have to use your upline. You don't have to use yourself. You can use whatever the answer Des has given me. Now, when I go through the presentation, I don't need to ask Des any questions. Des already said, if he likes what he hears, he will then get started right away. So you know what I ask? You know, after the presentation's done, you know what I ask him? Des, do you have any questions for me?
I'm good. How can I get started?
Most times they don't have no questions because their mind's blank now. So then I open up the enrollment link and I get them started. And if they start having questions during, well, let's say they've opened the link up, they start having some questions. They get. It's always when they get to the bank deals, right? They'll put their name in, the email address, the number, Visa, MasterCard. Oh, okay. Wait, listen. I have some questions, right? And then you're like, okay, now here's the best way to answer questions. Don't answer a question without a question. Do not answer a question without a question back. So Des, give me some of the questions that you get when someone goes to the bank deals.
Do I have to pay right now?
You said you wanted to actually help yourself make an extra income, which can actually take you away from your work. So that's what we're going to do right now. So do you bank with Visa or MasterCard?
What I'm going to do, I'm going to go and do some research and speak to my girlfriend. Okay. I've only been with her a few days, but.
Perfect. You know, when you get started, your first 7 days, you're on a trial. You can get a refund back. And those 7 days, you can do as much research as you want. I'll even give you the company website. You can look into as much as you want. In those 7 days, you're not risking nothing. So any money is left your account, it can come back to you. What else do you do in terms of work? And also, whatever you do in terms of work today, you can carry on doing that regarding your research, regarding your efforts, anything like that. You can carry on doing what you're doing. But today, once you get started, we'll put you on your trial 7 days. But listen, after we go through this, when are you free for your launch?
Oh, I guess tomorrow, really.
Perfect. Listen, what's your long card number? What's your back of the card numbers? What's your expiry? Boom, done, finished. That's it. If I answer a question with an answer, I'm leaving myself on the hot seat for more questions. And guess what? I'm getting hot. I'm getting itchy. I'm thinking, I'm like the guy on stage again for the very first time. I don't know what to do, right? I'm blank. And that's why it's very important. Stay genuine. Ask the questions back.
How have I gone 2 years without receiving this training? This is powerful. I need to watch this back.
That's why I said, I wouldn't do this training. But someone's asked the question. So I'm not doing a training. I'm just answering a question. Does that make sense? And so that's the greatest thing about this industry, guys. You ask someone, a big leader a question, the answer you get is going to blow you away, man. Wow. I did it in one of the trainings that I done a training on promoting events. You guys might have heard it. I spoke to a big leader. The guy said to me, I asked him, how do I get to where you got to? What's your secret? I said to him, what's your secret? He said to me, you see this room right here? it's going to half every single year. Every single year, whether it's 10,000, it's going to half to 5,000. Every year he said it will half. By the 10th year, these 10,000, there will actually be only 25 left out of these 10,000. And so he said, your job is to stay in that 25. And you would never get a training on that. Never. It was just an answer to a question. And it was organic. It was genuine. It was probably a thing where he doesn't even know what he done to me, man. He doesn't know, right? He doesn't know what kind of money he's made me by doing that. So, yeah, that's exactly where we are with that. Okay, so I hope that helps you with closing. Pre-close is very powerful. Very, very powerful. Okay.
Bro, how do you develop as a leader?
In what sense, though?
Like, how do you, like, what do you do to just, you obviously don't stand still. So what do you do to just consistently develop and, you know, get to the next level? What is it that you're doing?
Okay, so I would say definitely when you want to become a leader, you have to follow someone who's where you want to be. Like literally like a copy and paste. You'll notice a lot in my team, especially in my group, a lot of people follow David. Like they love David, man. And it's so fun for me that I'm not the spotlight. You know, it's so fun for me that someone can see external motivation to get inspired. You know, and so those are the things that now when you hear someone like Montel or Iban, you see them present, they got a lot of David in him. You know, they've got it instilled. And so that definitely benefits moving forward, you know, in terms of your team. They find someone who who the leader is, and they just copy that person. Now, it's very, very important that you copy the right person, you know, because you don't want to get influenced by the wrong culture, the wrong system. Very important you follow the right guidance, because there's so much stuff on social media today where you can get contradicting information. You know, someone can say, this is how you do it. And then someone else can say, no, this is not how you do it. This is how you do it. And then you're like, what should I do? Like if you follow Grant Cardone and then you follow Gary Vee, you're going to be pissed off. You're going to be like, one guy is saying follow happiness. The other guy is saying screw happiness, follow money because money will give you happiness. It's literally so contradicting. You're like, both these guys are winning. What should I do? That's why you follow one line of education. Make sense? It's like me trying to learn maths and then economics. It's like two different subjects. It's might be the same context, but it's different areas. Accountancy, then chartered accountant. It's like different levels, right? So this is why I say I only focus on what I feel is going to benefit me and what is my style, you know, of training. That's why there's certain Chairman 500s. Sorry, not Chairman 500s. There's certain Chairman 50s, Chairman 100s, Chairman 250s. To be honest, are they great leaders? Yes. Do I follow them? No. Because, you know, I don't feel like it fits my style of work. That's not because I'm egotistic or I feel like I'm better than them. No. It's because that's just not my style of education. Their style contradicts with the style that I'm already following. Does that make sense? And it's working out for me. So that's how I feel is best. So whenever someone's looking to become better within themselves as a leader, they need to mirror someone, let them model someone, and kind of just focus on that and definitely grow. Definitely personal development, definitely grow, because there's a shoe to fit. You understand? There's always a shoe to fit. If you're stuck at P1, at P6, at P2, at Chairman 10, at Chairman 50, there's a bigger shoe. So if I'm a size 7, size 8, and the next rank up is Chairman 100, that's like a size 10. How am I going to grow my foot into a size 10? It's going to take a lot of personal growth, a lot of trial and error. You know, Thomas Edison said it best. He said that it didn't take me 10,001 times to create the light bulb. It took me 10,001 times on how to not create a light bulb. You know, so it's trial and error. It's what you don't do that has a major effect. And that's why we go on demo to start with, right? We go on demo to learn what not to do, not what to do. We learn what not to do in terms of our trading, our lot sizes, our risk management, our education, our trades, our buy limits, our sell limits, executions, etc. Is it 7 days? Yeah, you can. 7 days gets you a refund. If someone signs up within 7 days, gets a refund. Okay. Someone says, Zain, what's the secret to gaining popularity on social media to attract the right types of people? Well, again, to attract the certain caliber of people, start getting your own content out there to attract the right kind of people. So I know firsthand right now, any page that follows success, so any page that you follow that's successful, just watch what they're doing. You know, are they posting videos? Are they posting pictures? How many pictures? What kind of pictures? What kind of captions? If you start doing that, but revolve that around your lifestyle, it's gonna have a ripple effect on you and your audience as well. Okay, very, very important. Okay. Last couple questions, guys. We'll finish up at 10:30.
Bro, how do you handle retention, bro?
Retention.
Yeah, how do you
The thing about retention is that it's uncontrollable. People are gonna come, people are gonna go. So I always felt like retention is more of a thing that you can only do if you're not in momentum. Okay, if you're not in momentum and you have a standstill plateau business, then you can focus on retention, where you kind of like create a system for your team, making sure everyone's plugged in. Even then, you're gonna have people that quit, but at least then you have, you can focus and let people know that, okay, we don't have that many people coming in. We can at least get people involved in the right go live channels, the right signals, the right education. You got the right amount of overviews happening in your group. The people are speaking to people, the activities. But if you have momentum, you can't do both together. You either are in momentum or you are in retention. One of the two. And if I was in momentum, I would not stop. I'll be like cutting down a tree when you're close. You just don't want to stop, right? I don't think about retention when I'm building, man. Like, think about Bryce, for instance. He has 4-5 million in volume right now. 4-5 million in volume GB. Can you imagine his expirations every single month? It might be like 100, 200K. But even he said to me, he said, Zain, because I asked him this question too. Like, obviously, when he hit C250, I was on the phone to him. And I said, I said, if you're hitting them kind of ranks, are you focused on like retention? He's like, look, bro, every bucket's got a hole in it. That's what he said to me. Every bucket's got a hole in it. Every single person in the business, they have holes in their bucket. He said, I just flood too much water in. I said, that makes sense. So if you got like a tsunami of momentum and you can't even see a hole in your bucket, it won't really, you know what I'm saying? If you see, if 50 quit and 100 enroll, you only see 50 added. Does that make sense? You don't see 50 that gone. So it's what you focus on, right? So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm not going to focus on what's gone down. I'm only going to focus on why isn't it going up, because it can. If 10 have quit, why ain't 20 come? And so, because it's all about activity. More activity in your group, there's no way, because every time someone joins, that's another active member that can add to your activity. So you should never really drop. Essentially, logistically, you shouldn't drop. Okay. Perfect. It's like a football fan, right? You got more fans of a club. The more fans, the more merchandise the club can sell. The more sales they should be increasing every single year. It just makes logistic sense. Okay, so I appreciate. I hope everyone's got some kind of value from that. I'll pass it back over to Des. It's been great speaking to everyone. I know we're gonna catch up in future UK events, whether that be national, regionals, calls like this. Very, very important that we address the elephant in the room, which is, of course, the corona. And, I feel like this pandemic has been a blessing. I feel like it's been a big blessing, because in the end of the day, this is just my opinion. There's people dying already every single day. There's hundreds of people dying every single day. I know the focus point on numbers is on the COVID-19, but we can't control what's happening around us. What we can control is how to make the best of the opportunity within this difficulty, right? And that's what we're doing. And I'm sure everyone's growing around that context. And I hope, people keep thriving, because at the end of the day, it's all we can do. And I believe after this, for us in this business, people are going to be more aware of how important it is to have a second income stream. They're definitely going to be more aware of how to actually build a business online. They know they have to dress up in a suit, go and speak to one of their friends and spend 3 hours in a coffee shop presenting to one person when they could have done 50 meetings in 3 hours. Wasted time, right? So that's also a very, very big plus. Okay, so pass it back up to you, D. Been a pleasure, man. Hoping to see you soon, and catching up with all of you guys on the call. Okay?
Wow. Zain, I have to say, before you go, that you've just dropped some absolute flames on my team today. I appreciate you so much, man. Honestly, you know, I've got so many notes here, but just to kind of highlight my main kind of nuggets. I mean, what you said about creating a brand was just so powerful. Sometimes we take it for granted, but just being purposeful about that, guys, is so important. And digging through the dirt to find the gold, absolutely sensational. There's so much power in taprooting. And then what I loved is what you said when you used that analogy, and it was really about what is a prospect looking for in me, rather than you thinking about, you know, what you want. You know, how can you attract the person that you're looking for? Very, very powerful. And then that pre-close, the script, woo, game changer for me. Absolute game changer. Just today alone in our building group, we had a question about closing, and now this has just changed my whole dynamics. So yeah, that's just a little snippet there. I'm gonna go back over this video and go back over my notes and just study this. Guys, I hope that you got value. Guys, if you got any value at all from Zain, I want you to blow up the chat box and just show some appreciation, because he's taken time out of his day. You know, he's a married man, a family man. You know, like they could be doing so many things. It's a Friday night, you know, so many things he could be doing, but he's taking time out. He's not, you know, this is not benefiting him at all. You know, we're not in his team, you know, but he's just, when we use the term servant leader, this is what we're talking about. You know, go into someone else's team, dropping nuggets and flames to help us level up. You know, so that's the kind of heart that this man's got. He's given up his time to help us level up. Wow, I see all the appreciation in the chat box. Zain, I hope you stay safe. I hope your family are well. Please send my regards to your beautiful wife and your child. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you pouring into the team. Nothing but love and respect. I don't take our friendship lightly at all. I look forward to all the collaborations that we're going to do going forward as well. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening. Wow. Guys, let's give it up for Zain Khan, please, guys. One last time. Absolute flames. Look at that suit. Guys, look at the suit. Look at the suit. Jeez. Bro, can you just PM me the name of your tailor? You know, because I need to stick it on my tailor right now. I'm sticking it on him right now, because that look at the cut and the watch. There was one time we were at an event. Who remembers this? We was at a regional event, and Zain Khan said, he said, the amount of money I've made, I don't have to work for like, and I can't remember how many years he dropped. It was something like, I don't have to work for like 14 years. And that's how he opened the event. Like, and I was just sat there thinking, Lord of mercy, like what? Imagine. He said, the amount of money that I've made, I don't have to work for, I can't remember how long he said, but it was crazy, some crazy amount of years. I just look up to this guy so much. Guys, if you're looking forward to hitting the rank of Chairman 50, put an 8 in the chat box. Guys, if you're looking forward to being a Chairman 50 and you know that it's already done, because the thing about chairmans have 3 qualities, okay? I spent a whole week in Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic, with chairmans, Chairman 50s, Chairman 100s, Chairman 500s. Guys, chairmans have 3 qualities. The first thing is they have an unwavering belief system. Like, their belief system is so steadfast that nothing can challenge the fact that they're going to hit a rank. So if you're putting an 8 in the chat box because you're going Chairman 50, then you have to know that it's done. It's already done. And time just needs to catch up. That's the kind of mindset you need to have. The second thing after belief system is they don't get thrown by punches to the face. So you have to have a growth mindset. You have to know that there's going to be challenges along the way, but you can't quit. There's only 2 ways to quit in this business: to sign up and do nothing, or to sign up and quit. Guys, we have to stay true to the goal, which is Chairman 500, Chairman, whatever your goal is, stay true to it. So guys, I want to respect your time. I hope you got lots of value. This has been recorded. So I'm going to disseminate this information. I see some people laughing. What's going on? Let me unmute some of these guys. Let me stop the recording first.